Okay, so I'm sitting with Johannes from WAGO. Here we're discussing some cool stuff about codices, and there's one new thing that I learned today about codices. To be honest, I was, you know that we are in automation industry, but I don't have that much experience with codices. So I was asking basic questions from Johannes, and one of the questions that I asked, what makes codices interesting for us PLC programmers? And what I learned today is that because the software is free, you as a PLC programmer will be able to use it. And then ask Johannes why the software is free. How is it the software is free? So for other PLC programming software, you need to pay for it, or there is a trial version. But Codesys is free. How is that possible?
I think in general, Codesys is not free all the time. It's the decision of the company who is selling Codesys. So that means normally Codesys get the money from the from fees for each product where the Codesys is downloaded of the runtime, and then it's the decision of the manufacturer of the product whether it gives it free or not. That's why we allowed that we are able to give it free, and we want to give it free because we want the people to use Codesys. I think nobody installs Codesys just for fun. It's not a computer game.
Yeah.
I think you install Codesys because you want to program our controllers. And I do not know any reason why you should stop that.
Yeah.
We like people installing Codesys to program our controllers, and that's why we give it free.
Yeah. So one thing that makes Codesys unique is that you as a PLC programmer, you don't need to pay for the software. The manufacturers usually pay for it. It is not all the time, but the manufacturer usually pays for that. And if you want to learn PLC programming and you are looking for a free software, you can use Codesys. Download it, it's free. And the other thing that we discussed for Codesys is that with some specific PLC programming software, such as Siemens or Allen Bradley, you can only use that software for programming those specific devices, right? For example, TIA Porter only for Siemens, Rockwell PLC programming software only for Allen Bradley. But for what sets Codesys apart is that you can program a set of PLCs with Codesys, right?
Yes, in general, Codesys is independent from the controller because the different manufacturers of controllers create the drivers to connect their controllers to the Codesys. And for us, it's a benefit because there are so many companies supporting Codesys that all the experience, the shared experience of these different companies goes back to 3S, which is the company behind Codesys, and all of us benefit from the experiences from all these companies. We were never ever able to get these experiences by our own, and so I think it's a win-win situation for all the people who are sharing these experiences, and we get back also benefits from experience from other companies.
Yeah. So the difference between Codesys and a software such as TIA Portal is that with TIA Portal, you only be able to program, for example, a Siemens product. But with Codesys, you can program all the manufacturers, all the PLC manufacturers that support Codesys. For example, WAGO, Eaton, Beckhoff, in some way, because they have integrated that into their own software. Festo, I heard, you can program Festo PLCs with Codesys, so it's a very good, it's a very nice way for you guys if you want to learn PLC programming to start with Codesys.
Yeah, so far I just mentioned why it's good for us that many manufacturers sharing Codesys. Of course, what you said from the point of view of the program, it's differently.
Yeah.
There, the benefit is that if you have to, one day you have to program a WAGO PLC, or one day, or in the same project, because of whatever reason, you maybe have to program a PLC from another brand supporting Codesys, then you do not need to learn so much.
It's the same software.
Yeah, the
you
same
use it for
software,
another
and you have
manufacturer.
the same structure. Maybe you have some specialties from the different manufacturers, but I think 90% or 95% of this are the same, and you know how to work with it.
Yeah,
And you can even use this different PLCs in the same programming environment.
so yeah, it's the same software, but for example, if you want to use it for WAGO, you install the software. What I learned from Ioannis, you install the software, and then you need to install an additional drive to be able.
As a piece of software which is just
Yeah.
connecting to our.
Yeah, so you install CODESYS, and then you install a piece of software from WAGO, and then with that you will be able to use CODESYS for WAGO. If you want to use it for another PLC manufacturer such as Festo, for example, you can install CODESYS and then install a piece of software from Festo, and then you'll be able to program a Festo PLC using CODESYS. So good job, you people at 3S. You said that it's the company behind
CODESYS, yes.
Yeah, 3S, and 3S stands for
Smart System Solutions.
a Smart System Solution. So good job you guys did here.